Hey everyone, welcome back to English Journey Talks, the podcast that reminds you learning English isn't just about rules and grammar, it's about you, your story, and your growth. I'm Nick.
And I'm Emily. And today's episode is one that we think so many of you need to hear. You're not behind, everyone learns English at their own pace.
You know, Emily, I've talked to so many learners who say things like, I started before my friend, but now they are fluent and I'm still struggling, or I should be speaking better by now. But the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all timeline when it comes to learning a language.
Yes. And the key word here is should. That little word can do a lot of damage. I should be fluent. I should speak like a native. I should be better than this. Those thoughts create stress, comparison, and self-doubt, and none of that helps you learn faster. In fact, it usually slows you down.
Exactly. Learning a language isn't a race. Some people have more time to study. Some have more exposure to English in daily life. Some people are just more confident making mistakes, while others are more careful and reflective. And all of that affects your pace. And it's okay.
Let's be honest, real life is messy. Maybe you work full-time. Maybe you're raising kids. Maybe you're dealing with health issues or stress. Learning English on top of all that. That's already impressive. You are not behind. You are walking your own path, and that path is valid.
Right. And think about it, just because someone is ahead in one area doesn't mean they're ahead in everything. You might struggle with speaking, but you're amazing at writing. You might not know every grammar rule, but your pronunciation is natural and confident. Progress isn't always obvious or easy to compare.
And what really matters is consistency, not speed. A learner who studies for 20 minutes every day with focus and curiosity is going to go much further in the long run than someone who forces themselves to study for hours once a week, feeling burned out and frustrated.
Totally agree. So if you're listening to this and feeling like you're behind, stop and ask yourself, behind who? Behind what? You're not a machine. You're a person. And you're doing something amazing, learning a second language.
And it takes courage. It takes patience. It takes emotional strength. So please, give yourself credit. Celebrate the small wins. And if you need to go slower, go slower. If you need a break, take it. That doesn't mean you've failed, it means you're human.
And you know what's funny, Emily? Sometimes the people who feel like they're the slowest are actually the most thoughtful learners. They are the ones who are paying attention to how language works, who are reflecting on what they learn, who ask great questions. That kind of depth matters.
Absolutely. Depth over speed. Always. I've met learners who memorized hundreds of vocabulary words fast, but couldn't use them in real conversations. And I've met learners who took their time, practiced one phrase at a time, and became amazing communicators. It's not about how much you know, it's about how well you use what you know.
Yes. And also, remember that growth is not always visible. You might feel like you're not improving, but deep down your brain is making connections, adjusting to the rhythm of English, building confidence, learning how to think differently. That invisible progress is real.
And sometimes it just clicks when you least expect it. A word you forgot suddenly comes to mind. A grammar rule that used to confuse you suddenly feels natural. That's what happens when you stay with it, even if you feel stuck for a while.
Let's also talk about how social media makes this worse. You see videos of people speaking English fluently and confidently, and you start feeling like you're way behind. But what you don't see is the years of effort behind that video. You don't see the failed attempts, the late-night doubts, the slow progress behind the scenes.
Exactly. Social media shows the highlight reel, not the full story. And it's okay to admire others, but don't use their progress as a way to shame yourself. Use it as inspiration, not pressure. You're not late, you're exactly where you need to be in your journey.
And honestly, comparison is such a thief. It steals your peace, your motivation, your joy. The only comparison that matters is between your current self and your past self. Are you more comfortable speaking than you were 6 months ago? Are you more confident listening than you were last year? That's growth.
And maybe right now your English journey doesn't look exciting. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's slow. But it's real. It's yours. And that's more important than any number on a test, or how you compare to someone else.
So if today you're feeling discouraged, just take a deep breath and remember this: you are not behind. You're learning in your own way, on your own schedule, and your effort matters. Every step counts, even the small ones.
And we're proud of you for sticking with it. Seriously. Just the fact that you're listening to this episode shows that you care, that you're committed, that you're trying. And that's already a win.
And sometimes the smallest steps, like listening to a podcast like this one, or writing a few sentences in your journal, or just reviewing one phrase before bed, those are the steps that build a solid, lasting foundation. It's not dramatic, but it's powerful.
Yes. And we often forget that fluency isn't just about big moments like giving a speech or passing an exam. Fluency grows in the small, quiet habits. It grows every time you choose to keep going, even when no one's watching.
Right. It's like planting seeds. You don't see a tree grow overnight. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. You water the seed, give it sunlight, and trust the process. And one day, it blooms.
That's such a great image, Nick. And if we could offer one piece of encouragement to anyone listening, it's this: you're not supposed to learn English the way someone else does. You're not supposed to follow a fixed timeline. Your journey is unique, and your pace is valid.
Maybe you've taken breaks. Maybe you've started over a few times. That's okay. That's normal. Language learning isn't a straight path, it's a winding one. And you're allowed to take your time. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to be human.
Honestly, some of the strongest English learners I've met were the ones who allowed themselves grace. They didn't panic when they struggled. They didn't give up when they forgot. They just kept showing up.
Exactly. Consistency beats intensity. It's better to study a little every day and enjoy the process than to push yourself too hard and burn out. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
And you know what? The beautiful thing about learning at your own pace is that you get to build a relationship with the language. Not just use it, but feel it. Enjoy it. Let it become part of your life, not just part of your schedule.
That's so true. English becomes more than a subject, it becomes a way to connect with people, a way to understand movies and books, a way to express your thoughts and feelings. That kind of connection takes time, and that time is worth it.
So wherever you are today, we hope you'll stop telling yourself you're behind. Because you're not. You're growing, step by step. And that's what matters most.
And when you start letting go of that pressure to catch up, you also start opening up to the learning that's actually happening right now. You start noticing how much you do understand, not just what you don't.
Yes, and that shift in focus changes everything. Instead of feeling constantly frustrated, you start feeling curious. You start to enjoy the process again. And enjoying the process. That's what helps you stick with it for the long run.
Exactly. Because when learning feels like punishment, it's hard to stay motivated. But when it feels like discovery, like an adventure, it becomes something you want to return to. Not something you have to do.
And part of that adventure is knowing it's okay to move slowly sometimes. Progress doesn't always look like jumping levels. Sometimes it looks like repeating the same sentence 5 times until it clicks.
Or finally understanding a joke in a movie you've seen 3 times. Or realizing you don't need subtitles anymore for your favorite YouTuber. Those moments are quiet, but they are huge signs of growth.
I love those moments. They remind you that the work is paying off, even if you don't see it every single day. And sometimes, when you stop rushing, you actually notice your progress more clearly.
Totally. It's like trying to measure your height every hour, you won't see a difference. But check again after a few months. Boom, growth. English is the same. You're growing, even if you can't feel it today.
So if anyone listening feels like they're not doing enough, or not going fast enough, we just want you to pause and recognize how far you've come. Look back. Notice what used to feel hard that now feels easy. That's progress.
You might not be where you want to be yet, but that doesn't mean you're not moving forward. Every small practice session, every new word you learn, every mistake you reflect on, it all counts.
And another thing, comparing yourself to others. That's a trap. Everyone has a unique path and timeline. Some people pick up speaking quickly, but struggle with writing. Others read well, but find listening tricky. It's all part of your own learning story.
Yeah, social media often shows us highlight reels. You see someone speaking fluently after a year and think, why am I not there yet? But you don't see their months of struggle, their mistakes, or the days they felt stuck.
That's why focusing on your own journey, your own goals, is so important. Set goals that feel meaningful to you, not what others expect. Celebrate the wins that matter for your progress.
And remember, it's okay to ask for help or change your methods. If something isn't working, try a different approach. Learning English isn't one size fits all.
Exactly. Maybe today you need to slow down and review, tomorrow you'll want to speak more, and the next day you might just want to listen to music or podcasts without pressure. All of these add up.
It's all about balance. Push yourself just enough to grow, but not so much that you burn out or lose confidence. You're learning a lifelong skill, not racing a sprint.
So, to everyone out there who feels behind, know that it's your pace that matters. Keep going, keep believing, and your progress will show up in ways you didn't expect.
And we're here cheering you on every step of the way.
Absolutely, Nick. And one more thing I find really helpful is journaling your progress, not just in English, but about how you feel during the process. It can reveal patterns, when you feel motivated, when you hit walls, and what helps you push through.
Great point, Emily. Writing about your struggles and successes can turn abstract feelings into concrete insights. Plus, it's a way to practice English in a low-pressure, personal way.
Exactly. And sometimes, just seeing how far you've come on paper can boost your confidence more than any test score.
Also, don't be afraid to celebrate the small wins, like understanding a tricky phrase, or having your first full conversation in English. Those moments matter.
Definitely. They build momentum and remind you that progress isn't always about giant leaps. It's about consistent steps forward, even if they feel tiny.
And if you ever feel stuck or discouraged, remember that feeling stuck is part of the process. It doesn't mean failure, it means you're learning and stretching.
Right? Sometimes a little rest, or a change in routine can help reset your mindset and energy. It's okay to pause.
Speaking of routines, mixing things up, like watching movies, chatting with friends, reading blogs, or even singing, can keep your learning fun and fresh.
And connecting with others learning English can create a supportive community where you share tips and encouragement.
So, keep your eyes on your own path, stay curious, and remember that every step, no matter how small, is progress.
That's a perfect note to end on, Nick. Remember, learning English is a journey unique to each person. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your progress, and keep moving forward at your own pace.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We hope this conversation helps you feel more confident and inspired in your English learning journey. Until next time, keep writing, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.
Take care and see you in the next episode.
Bye.